My Letterboxd watch list is out of control. Let's pick something at random and review it. Today's video is going to be about Graduation Day, an 80s slasher I haven't seen. I'm excited about this. We got Christopher George from Pieces and City of the Living Dead. Even if this is bad, I'm gonna have a fun time.
Graduation Day.
Alright, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. Graduation Day is a pretty awful movie, even by schlocky 1980s slasher standards. This is coming from someone who is obsessed with these types of movies, by the way. My entry point for watching older films were Halloween and Friday the 13th. In my first years as a young horror fan, all I watched were slasher films. I think I first heard about Graduation Day around that time when I watched the 2006 documentary Going to Pieces, The Rise and Fall of the Slasher Film. My point is, I've been in these trenches for a long time. I know Scream came out and completely changed the game by elevating the genre, but I've always preferred slasher movies from the 70s and 80s. There's a formula to them, and I think that's beautiful. If there's a special day marked in your calendar, there's probably an old school slasher to go along with it. Happy Birthday to Me, My Bloody Valentine, April Fool's Day, Black Christmas. I could go on, but you get the gist. Graduation Day is kind of morbidly interesting because it clearly tries to cash in on the post-Friday the 13th slasher trend, but it doesn't really seem like the filmmakers understood what made those movies popular in the first place. Sure, all the elements you need for one of these films are here, but they're put together all wrong. It does make Graduation Day an interesting failure, but still a failure nonetheless. The most glaring example I can give to explain what I mean here is that the movie technically has a final girl, but she's not really the main character. In fact, no one really is, as characters weave in and out of the picture. I'm all for ensemble pieces, but that approach really doesn't work here. As soon as the movie focuses on one person, it's a sign that they are going to be the next to die. It makes the whole film feel like filler, since we're rarely spending time with any of the characters that actually matter. The little story we do get here, though, is about a track team whose star runner, Laura, dies from a cardiac embolism in the opening scene. 2 months later, her older sister Annie arrives in town to take part of the school's graduation ceremony to honor Laura. Coincidentally, along with Annie's arrival, a black-gloved killer begins to pick off the rest of the track team one by one. Apart from the third act killer reveal and some red herrings here and there really isn't much more to the story. Linnea Quigley pops up for a couple of scenes, oddly enough replacing an actress that was fired but had already shot some scenes. They apparently didn't have enough money to redo those scenes, so instead they just shot the rest of the film with Linnea Quigley and hoped no one would notice. I definitely did though, but did not realize that they were literally supposed to be the same person until very late in the film. I understand that budget was a concern here, but surely there must have been a better solution than what they ended up going with. I'm not complaining that Linnea Quigley is here, not at all. It's just bizarre. The kills range from being okay to outright silly, with the only standout factors being the film's music and editing. The editing in particular gets pretty wild at times, but I think it mostly works. The frantic cuts during the kill sequences are intended to put you in the distorted mind of the killer, but I just mostly like them as visual flourishes. Other than that, there are some nice transitions and creative liberties taken with the editing that I really enjoyed. It's definitely the one thing about the movie that's actually quite good. I'm glad to have finally ticked off Graduation Day from my watch list, but unfortunately it was a pretty dull watch. Every once in a while my attention would perk up during a kill sequence, but they're not nearly good enough to save the rest of the movie. I enjoyed seeing Linnea Quigley and Christopher George here, who plays the track team's coach. I'm obsessed with 1982's Pieces, so anytime someone involved with that movie pops up, I have to shout it out. If you've never seen Pieces, please go watch it. It's truly one of the most baffling movies I've ever seen, and I love it so much. If you enjoyed this video, I make a new one like it every day, so please check back tomorrow. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. It really helps out, and we'll talk about more movies soon, okay? Bye.